Hey guys, doing another What's Next. This is on former 4-division world champion Mikey Garcia. Mikey coming off of, he was one of the last guys to fight before the pandemic hit and shut down boxing on February 29th. He scored a pretty big win, getting a convincing 12-round unanimous decision over Jesse Vargas, former world champion. You know, Mikey, I really thought the fight was going to be a 50-50 fight, and I thought there was a chance that he could lose. I still picked him to win on a skill level, and the fact that Jesse Vargas was coming down in weight from 154, but I really thought that I really believed that Jesse Vargas was a live underdog to pull off the win here. So it was, you know, I was really looking forward to the fight. And early on, Vargas was putting it on Mikey. You know, he was outworking him. And Mikey just seemed like he was timing Vargas, and that's exactly what he was doing. And in the middle rounds, you know, he really took over the fight. He hurt him badly in the 6th round, almost stopped him. And then after that, he just took control of the fight in the second half. Vargas came on a little bit stronger in the championship rounds, but Mikey won a convincing and deserving unanimous decision, and you know, has put himself now in the big picture at 147. Showing everybody that he can compete legitimately at 147. So, big time win. Congrats to him on that. So now, what, you know, going forward, right now the talk is that he's being strongly considered for Manny Pacquiao. So that's what we do know. Now let's take a look and see what some of the options might be for Mikey Garcia in the top 10. So the big question, what's next for Mikey Garcia? We start with number 1, a rematch with unified champ Errol Spence Jr. This fight's not going to happen. Spence, no matter what Mikey does, unless Mikey can bring a world title to the table, Spence is not going to fight him again. He whipped his ass the first time. Wouldn't make sense right now. So this fight's not happening next. Number 2 is the undefeated WBO champion Terrence Crawford. Mikey said he would be interested in Crawford if he didn't get the Pacquiao or Danny Garcia fight later in the year. That might happen, you know. If Pacquiao decides to go forward with a Spence fight, or if Pacquiao decides to face Danny Garcia or something like that, then Mikey might get might be asked out, and he might have to take a fight with a guy like Crawford. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen for a couple reasons. I don't think Mikey wants to work with Bob Arum that much to where he'd be that desperate. There's other options like Danny Garcia or like Sean Porter, you know, that are more beatable options in my opinion, to where he doesn't have to. But Mikey did say he either wants a big fight or he wants a title fight, and he really wants both. So he might go after that fight if Bob Arum offers him enough, but I don't think it's going to happen. Number 3 is Manny Pacquiao, the WBA super champion. This is the biggest fight, and it's for a world title. And honestly, I think it's what's going to happen for Mikey next. I really think Pacquiao's going to take Mikey on as his opponent, and see, you know, how good he can do. But yeah, and I think Mikey stands a chance in that fight. Personally, I think he's going to lose, but I do think he stands a decent shot of pulling off the upset and capturing the title in the 5th weight class. So we'll see. I do think that fight is going to happen for Mikey. Number 4 is what's his name? Who's the number 4 fighter? Keith One-Time Thurman. Here's a fight that I could possibly see happening, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I could see it if Thurman wanted to jump right back in. I could see him facing Mikey, but I think Mikey was a little too good against Jesse, and I think Jesse Vargas, and I think Thurman's going to want to come back against somebody, you know, on a level below Mikey first before he takes him on. So I don't see this one. Number 5 is Sean Porter. I think if Mikey doesn't get the fight with Terrence Crawford and he can't land a title fight, I think he would look at a fight with Sean Porter. I don't think it'd be his first option because Porter brings the fight. He's a real deal welterweight, and you know, he's always comes in great shape. So I don't think it's his first option. I'm going to lean towards the less likely that it happens, but I do think Mikey would consider it because Porter is a big name, and it would mean a lot for Mikey if he pulled off the win. You know, like Spence and Porter would have, Spence and Pacquiao would have to fight him at some point after that, or even Thurman. Number 6, Danny Garcia. If for some reason Pacquiao chooses somebody other, like maybe Errol Spence if he chooses somebody other than Mikey Garcia or Danny Garcia, if for his next fight, like if he goes after Errol Spence, which is possible, I think Mikey and Danny could lock horns. They almost locked horns last year. They almost came to terms for a fight. Didn't happen at the end of the day. But I really do think both guys would be interested in this kind of fight, and I think it'd be a good one. So, yeah, I think it could possibly happen. For Mikey next. Number 7 is Yordenis Ugas. I'm not seeing this one. Ugas doesn't have a big name, doesn't have a world title, and he's a difficult opponent to fight, so I don't think Mikey would be interested. Mikey is number 8. Versus number 9, a rematch with former 140-pound champ Sergey Lipinets. Not seeing it. Lipinets is in line to fight for an interim world title next, and Mikey wouldn't be interested anyways unless he was desperate and Lipinets had the official world title, so not an option. Excuse me. Now the 3-way tie for 10th. First, Jesse Vargas, a rematch with him. No need for that. It was a good fight, but Vargas didn't do well enough to where it was that close. Plus, Vargas isn't a big name and doesn't have a world title, so not seeing it. Josecito Lopez. Possibly if Mikey is completely desperate and can't land a big fight next, but I don't see that happening. I don't think that's going to happen, so I doubt he goes after him. And Thomas Delorme is even less likely because he doesn't have as big a name as Lopez. So those are the 3-way tie for 10th, and that's it for the top 10 versus Mike Garcia. So what do I think Mikey's going to do next? I absolutely do believe he's going to fight Manny Pacquiao. I believe that's going to happen. He's going to be the opponent. And if it's not Pacquiao, I think he's going to go after one of the other guys. And, whoever's available. I think Crawford is an option. I think Sean Porter and Danny Garcia are options. It's going to be one of those 4 guys right there. I could see Keith Thurman as an outside 5th guy, possibly. But Mikey is going to get a big fight next. But I do believe it's going to be against Manny. So that's it. That's what's next on former 4 Division world champion Mikey Garcia. Hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.